What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us in another episode of Cannabis Legalization News. My name's Tom. You can find me here and then also at cannabisindustrylawyer.com. We have a big show of cannabis news. We have some USDA hemp testing news, and then also interesting. It's interesting. Tune in for that. We have some stuff about the Supreme Court and gun rights, Democratic candidates. We're going to talk about MJ Biz. Miggy and I were out there all last week. We have state news. We have state news out of New York, state news out of Ohio, state news out of Illinois, Florida. Some Martha Stewart news. Wasn't expecting that. Sharon Osborn as well, and then some financial info for what's going to be happening in 2024. Let's go check all that stuff out right now and start another wonderful cannabis news episode for December of 2023. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Miggy, how was your week?
Good, man. It was with you. We're down at MJ Biz. That was dope, dude. We learned a lot, too.
We sure did learn a lot. And one of the things that we learned is that dropping soon on our channel, and if you're tuning in, thank you so much. Don't forget to give us a like and then subscribe. And then right now, if you're watching, it's the live chat. But if you're catching us tomorrow, it's just leave us a comment. Tell us if you were at MJ Biz, what you thought was the awesomest part, and we'll respond to you. But yeah, that was a great time. I really learned a lot, and we have a new episode coming, a whole new podcast that's going to take it into strange locations.
Yeah, no, that was a good time. And, we got Jack's pre-roll in the house. And, it's kind of neat to see people that
Jack's, yeah. Let's talk about him. Let's bring him up. Let's get his little comment on there. I have to go over to comments and then bring that up. Jack's pre-roll is in the house. He met us at the Mob Museum in Vegas.
Yeah, no, he was inspired by a conversation with Josh Kincaid. So that and Josh. So that's pretty dope that somebody creates a business. And a lot of the, watching you talk to these guys, the business behind the things. Honestly, dude, for 4 years that we've been doing this, I've been just looking at the consumer side of things, and you've always talked about the business side, but holy crap, now I understand a lot more.
Well, how are you gonna change the laws if you can't actually get in on the business? It's great to buy the stuff, but buying the stuff's just half of the equation. And so Jack's pre-rolls, they were awesome in the sense that we talked to them a little bit. And I hope they throw us a super chat. And if you guys do want to throw us a super chat or something, we'll be able to see it and we can talk to you directly on here. It was a pre-roll as a service business model, and it worked. And I was like talking to them, and like, I don't think you need any licenses for that. And they didn't, and they just needed certain contracts, which is a real ancillary there. Where are the things that, because like our license, like big news out of Illinois, we got a 10-day, which was actually a 15-day, which we've already finished. And so we've asked them a question before it's even done. But it's moving forward, which is kind of cool. Like, we'll get that license.
They're actually like looking at stuff now and being progressive. Like, I mean, in real time, you're watching the process, which is so fucking painful. So painful.
It's regulation speed can vary. And one of the things in some states, they have some of the tax dollars go to fund the regulators, which I really recommend, because if those tax dollars are going to fund the regulators, then you're not going to have like one guy working on it. And when you have that, like when I got my medical card back in 2017 in Illinois, it took like 3 months. You had to find a doctor first, you didn't go there. Then like they require you to get like you're getting a passport, like a photo ID and shit.
Damn.
And then you have to mail all that stuff in, like your doctor's recommendation, the photo ID, taken within like 30 days, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you wait because you have cancer. Yeah.
That's why I thought it was so weird. Your guys' form of how regulation happens. Period. First off, you might want to check your settings on the mic. I think your mic's.
I got it. I got this.
Okay, good to go. You're not as deep as you usually sound. But just the beginning of it, like here in Washington State, it was like a script, and then you hope people called each other, and it was the network that you hoped that like people like trusted you. It was like a lot of there was no database, there was no compliance per se, which Damn, that's crazy that you guys had to go through and not get it right away. Like, here's my prescription. Here's my ailments. Here's my thing. We'll get back to you. Oh, now you're off totally. You might be on a mute then. Check the.
Yeah. Now I'm totally back on. You're right.
Sorry,
That
guys.
show note that's at the top, like this is one of the reasons why one of our next, whomever is hired next at the consortium that we have, you have to commit to being here at 3 o'clock on a Sunday to make sure that before we go live, no, that's wrong. That's also wrong.
This is the zaniness of us, though, folks. And then we appreciate you guys hanging out. By the way, we passed 50K while we're out there, and that's fucking dope.
Oh, crap. Yeah, that's going to be in the 420 somewhere. Don't forget to hang out until then. But we have shot the shit for a little bit. So why don't we get into the trending news of the week? We'll get into the big news stories that happened this week. Let's hit it off. Where is the trending button? I am going to need to restack these. I don't even think we hit our regular button, but the big one to get to is that Miggy and I got involved with MITA Unshackled this past year. We did spotlight at social equity in Maryland. We did a spotlight on investment at Benzinga in Chicago, and then most recently, and one of the reasons why I sound as bad as I do is because I was in the desert for the past week, talking a lot, not nearly as much as Dimitri that was up there, and then Max really covered a lot of the co-hosting abilities at MJ Biz. But they were nominated for an MJ Best Podcast of the Year and won that. That was very exciting to watch and to help be a part of. So Dimitri, and then this is actually the group. This guy right here, that's got his arm foisted over people. That is David Tran. He is the organizer for MJ Biz. And then right back there is Dimitri Downing. He was a co-host of us when we went live from the floor of MJ Biz at booth 6445, which was the MITA Unshackled and Dispot booth. Great times. I hope that you stopped by. It was really nice to meet people. And then in the Santa Cap is the editor of the podcast, which so like we'll go live. He fixes all the audio, and he was the one that was recording.
He killed it.
And yeah, it really worked. The only issue, like we had this joke where we are gonna have like Miggy 2.0. And trying to explain a joke to some people sometimes when you're supposed to go live, like right now, it's like, no, just like play along. This is going to be hilarious. And then they didn't tell us we were live. And I'm sitting there talking about Jack Benny and shit. I'm just like, yeah, back when I was in high school, I was such a comedy nerd. I was watching Jack Benny. And then, and we're live during the whole thing, it's fucked up.
It was fun, and it worked out. You guys should really check out that podcast, that conversation. Dimitri, so MITA also stands for Marijuana Industry Trade Association. So, I mean, this is for a group of people. If you're in the business, this is something for you to look at.
Heck yeah. They're extremely plugged in. They go all the way back for a while because Arizona is one of the OGs when it comes to the legal cannabis industry. We met some other people that do what we do over at Collateral Base. And hopefully we can create some conglomerates and some consortiums or collabs if you're trying to not sound so Machiavellian. It was a wonderful time. Yeah. And now it's time to get into the main stories of the week. The stories came out, like this was one of those weeks where they should have dripped out more federal policy in the sense that they know the entire industry is gone. And so because the entire industry is gone, put something out. What are they going to do? Go to an after party?
Well, this is something that you're concerned about with our license, and I totally get it, which I also don't want to have to get. Like, I don't agree with this. Like, you can't dabble on both. If you're legal, it's illegal. You're
a no, yeah. But like, I'm negotiating with like Cookies for having them be our THCA hemp flower partner for affiliate codes, and but I don't want our actual and then all these actual licenses. Like that's some people that were at like MJ Biz were just like, this is my last one, simply because the industry has changed so much over the past 5 years that they didn't see like THCA coming on and just sucking all the fame out of cannabis, where you could now have just shops that could, I mean, like when we were walking the floor, Miggy and I were walking the floor, and the only video that, like, Between Two Dolphins hasn't come out yet, by the way, but it's coming. The only one that got flagged was the one where we went up to Cannabis Talk 101, and I highly doubt it was for them to like not get any views in the videos they don't get views on.
We
But
got flagged.
yeah, remember like how the first dude that we met had that clear backpack full of what looked like weed,
Yeah,
and he was
TCA.
calling it THCA, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We got for that. As a matter of fact, I got the samples. I haven't tried them yet, but and that was an interesting thing to see in the business side of things, as far as the loopholes go, and or rather just the things that people are willing to chase. But I think though, like the lot of disgruntledness of a lot of people is like finding your place in any of this, right? Like I've never, and you know, it's funny with these MJ BizCon events, with these industry events. The prior industry event was called a festival. You know, like back in the day, that's how people who sold things met. You know, that's, you know, the circles you fall into. But now you just go to this event, pay for it, and then you can search for the things that you're looking for, whether you're a grower or store owner or whatever it is you want to do. But it enables a lot of opportunity, I think, that wasn't there
Yeah,
for.
that was the craziest thing. Like the whole day, like this is a building as big as, like, so you could play all the NFL games that are going on today in this, like,
Five football
yeah,
fields.
right. It's ridiculous, and so it's the biggest building you've ever been in, and it takes you minutes to walk. Like, you know, to do a lap might take 45 minutes just walking at a normal pace, but you're not walking at a normal pace because people are like, hello, how are you, do you want this stuff? And so it's a trade show, right?
Yeah.
And so you do that, and it's exhausting. And then you also are doing podcasts when you can, but you know, you're not really doing too many podcasts because you're tired and whatnot. And so
It's overwhelming too. The
yes.
variety, you know.
And then you find out the next day there was an entire grow, like, other
Hallway.
show across the hallway, and you're like, what? Over there? A whole new one? Over there? My God. And so, like, you know, and then that's how Miggy and I were able to do just the yet to be critically acclaimed episode of Between Two Dolphins will be launching on this here YouTube channel pretty darn quick. Hopefully we'll get nominated for the Cannabis Podcast of the Year on the MJs if they decide to do it again. That was the most creepy thing about the MJs. There were winners who weren't there like 50% of the time.
Really? Well, you attended the awards. I just attended the party, which was well enough.
Well, you streamed the awards. The awards were $100.
Yes.
That was the other thing about this year at MJ Biz. The industry's really hurting. They charge for everything.
Yeah, that's where they're really hurting. No.
Well, they like that, evidently that had never happened before. Like all the after parties were open. They used to just break out, like, so 5 o'clock would roll around and they would just open bar for the exhibitors. And so, like, you know, you were there, like we were there when we got that free unlicensed cab after we spent $73 for a veggie burger and a chicken club.
But maybe it's the opposite, that it's not so much that it's hurting, but now it's like seriously pay to play, because now people are just, as each state knocks one down, you're going to have more and more entrepreneurs and people who's trying to seek an opportunity. And I think that's just what it is now. I don't know. I've never been to
hemp, like, just coming over the top of it though too. And so you have this other industry that just decided to play by the rules, which means that they're getting raped on taxes and also compliance costs. And then you have this other industry that says, hey, since 2018, what we do is legal, and they're just, you know, taking over as much market share as they can without any like really stoppage, and they don't give back at all with their profits or with their tax dollars to all the harms that were caused by the cannabis prohibition. So, like, you know, we'll be on both sides of the gate. Like, we're gonna shill for Cheech and Chong later, and then we'll probably start shilling for cookies. You don't want to lose the channel, but we would like to make some money. I mean, like, you're going to tune in to like get information about how this shit works, and then you're going to take it and you're just not going to give me any coin. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, shit, man, we're at about now 300 a month, so I can almost retire.
No, you can't. But then if like we were talking about like buttons and Smuckers, I mean, like we would be at 3,000 a month. You still can't retire. But then like, you have something, and you can also grow. Like that was and we'll talk about that in about 5, 6 minutes. But then like, we dropped another video that was just baller on schedule
Oh God,
3.
yeah.
And then just like not marked at 18 plus, nothing like that. Like it's very nerdy. And then flatlined. You're like, we need to get some friends that work in Silicon Valley. We need to go hang out in the Bay. And like, why are you going to the Bay? So I can go to like wherever like YouTube hangs out and like find out who your admins are and start buying them off.
Oh, just so we can get the algorithm slid in
Yeah.
there. Yeah, that'd be
Right.
nice. But I think as long as we just keep doing what we're doing, it'll work out, dude. Appreciate everybody for hanging out with us.
Yeah, that was the coolest aspect about being in. You got recognized when you were there?
Mhm. Yeah, no, that was totally fun. Oh, damn it! I didn't bring got that flicker spinner. That thing is dope. The
That's
lighter.
really cool. Yeah,
There was some
and
really cool innovations there. I never seen a dab extractor, which is like a little preset syringe that looked like a needle, so you could do like dosages. A little more simple. It was like an RSSO syringe, but more it was tinier and more mechanical. It seemed like, so it's pretty dope. And there was plenty of stuff to see there as far as new products go.
one of the videos that I want to get into next is one of these next stories.
There you go.
Supreme Court weighs whether hemp legalization affects gun possession's mandatory minimums for man with marijuana convictions. Guns and weed are so like related when it comes to penalty enhancement, and then also like your rights. So like to buy a gun, like in your Second Amendment right, versus like treating yourself and like being free and like not having to compromise and how you are going to treat your PTSD, your stress, or like just general wellness, to try to like maintain homeostasis with your cannabinoid system. And so like the Supreme Court will be weighing in on whether hemp legalization affects gun possession and mandatory minimums with marijuana convictions. Came out while we were in Vegas.
Neat.
From marijuana moment.
At issue of the boundaries of the Armed Career Criminal Act, a 1984 law that imposes penalties on gun possession for people with past violent felonies or serious offenses. But again, where's the NRA in all this, man? You know what I mean? Throughout all these years,
they are so bought off by law enforcement. That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying, though, man. If this wasn't, if they were a true organization with altruistic, intentions, right? This would not be you would have other people support it. That's why at this event, it was so neat to see like so many like groups, because there's power in numbers when you speak up and you do a thing. So right now, unfortunately, this is all business related. But for the individual, for a supposed group like NRA, they should be speaking up for these guys.
But yeah, that's what it's about. Because like where's the NRA in this whole thing? Where is it? It's this law that if they think it's infringing on your Second Amendment right, why aren't they out there unless the NRA is in the pocket of oh my goodness, is it 20 past the hour already?
Yeah, that time.
Well, we'll try to finish this thought about the NRA being abandoning your rights because you like cannabis after a small break from our sponsors. Speaking of our sponsors, besides the company that I work for, and I'm going to just try to copy this URL here and then hit that and then bring this up. Have you tried the Cruise Chews? These Cruise Chews are hemp, by the way. Completely FDA, not FDA, 2018 Farm Bill compliant hemp. They have a high amount of CBD relative to the amount of THC, so it's always going to be a comfortable ride. I will talk to Peter later who turned us on to this. And if you would like to try some Cruise Chews, check out the live chat. There'll be some in there. I might put this also as a comment later. But Meggie, we have to get you to try some of these Cruise Chews. I love them. And so
Nice.
I'm gonna put you and Peter on an email here soon with getting you a sample as well, so you can try them. But that is what the 2018 hemp bill. Well, it's called farm, not hemp. They don't really care about hemp. Farm bill gave us are these wonderful, legal, sold online with a credit card things. Ecom. You can do that with wine. You can do that with certain aspects of cannabis, but those aspects have to have been called hemp 5 years ago.
Well, and I gotta say, I mean, I used to be a skeptic of like just a CBD only heavy or Delta 9 or any of that, and you can get the effect, you get the feeling, it's all natural still. So that's dope. I'm glad you enjoyed them though. I have yet to try those. But you let me know if you liked them. If you
I
had
did.
them.
I did. I brought some to Vegas. You didn't need them.
Damn it! No.
Let's just we've already covered the Vegas one. We're going to skip on over to the presidential candidate for the Democrats after this. But what did you think about Nevada weed?
Oh my God, no, so bad. But again,
the name of the dispensary means wet floors. I'm sorry, just floors in Spanish. But
I mean, I don't even think it was just like. Like you were saying with the regulation and limited market. So you're at least saying though Illinois cannabis is better, right? Like at least the quality of your smoke is.
Well, that's not fair. We could have gone to a shitty dispensary and gotten crap too.
That's what I'm trying to like just kind of convey. But then again, like everything that we hit out of that place that was Nevada weed was not bueno. Like it was nice and that was the other thing about this event. It was very non-cannabis related in the sense that like. I mean, there were sessions
on those Cruise Chews right there.
Thanks, dude. Yeah. There were parties and stuff, but like during the event, like it's not a festival where you're just smoking all day. So
no, it is not. It is not the formerly known as Hemp Fest canceled festival in Seattle, but a Democratic presidential candidate, Dean Phillips, wonders why he is still a presidential candidate in the Democrats. He didn't literally mean Biden should start smoking marijuana now. Yeah, you do. Rep. Dean Phillips, a 2024. He's actually a rep out of Minnesota. He's getting ready for 2028. And he says he didn't literally mean it when he said Biden should start smoking some weed earlier this month. The truth is, I wouldn't recommend he start now. You see, he's just a shill. That guy right there, shill.
Why wouldn't you recommend he start smoking now? I mean, like,
yeah, he's in his 80s. Fucking needs it.
Fuck, take everything you want.
If anybody can have that realization that so many people in the cannabis space, even when they get into the industry, have, where it's like, I was lied to. I would love to see an octogenarian who's the president of the United States.
Oh my God, yes.
Like, I've been lied to my whole life. I really regret what I did in the 90s with the crime bills, and just come out with the new rule. And oh man, that's the other thing that we were going to talk about after the 420 somewhere is that YouTube about the new. It's not the new rule, but like a lot of people are asking questions about what's going on with Schedule 3 weed. And so we dropped. It was one of those things where I dropped it on my editors over in Vietnam, and shout out to them because they're the shit. And they wanted to split it into two, and I'm like, I don't know if I can split it into two, but it kind of took off. It's our biggest to 50,000 in a while. It's about Schedule 3, breaking down what it means. We might even need to do. Oh my goodness, we also added merch. If you guys want any merch, please let us know. We might need to like kind of tweak this a little bit, so that the tote bag isn't first. Like I don't think a tote bag's really a big draw. Maybe like a hoodie or something. But anyway,
you gotta bring your bag shopping.
Well, maybe if we just started here with a hoodie and the T-shirt, and then it's called No Words because there's no CLN literally on it. But that was cool that YouTube has had no beef with us, so that they allow us to shill crap that they get a piece of.
Yeah, of course, right?
Not that our stuff is crap, it's got a logo on it. We'd really like to see you at the next event. But anyway, this one, it kind of blew up pretty quick, 66,000 views in 3 days. And the SES score is not great. I can retweak that. However, if you want like a dense, thick as a brick kind of like, here is what may be happening next year in the cannabis space, that's it. And then we're gonna do some more of them. The next one that'll be dropping is about Ohio. The one after that will be Between Two Dolphins, which we did pretty good on.
Might I add though, like working with you like for all these years, it's so funny how you're an actual lawyer and I'm just a whatever citizen, but you've lawyering and a lot of it's theory, right? The law, it's a interpretation. But you able to see the way that the hemp bill's coming and how things interact with each other. I found out during this last trip that you're one of the videos we're using a court case. Like, that's pretty cool, man. Like, Tom doesn't brag about himself. That's why I'm just trying to throw this out there. That's pretty cool that actual opinion structured, it presented is still defensible. It's cool.
Yeah, it is great. I need to have a higher ego. I don't really want to. I just want cash flows to increase, and maybe if I had a higher ego, I would. But either way, it's one of those deals where, somebody watched it and was like, they confused the crap out of their prosecuting attorneys, and I was thankful for that.
Well, even this past week, though, like there's been a lot of policy talk. Like the lawyer circles that you're in the behind the scenes, nobody wants to see how the goddamn meat's made. Or
we're gonna have Bob. We'll have Bobby on. To Bob Hoban from Clark Hill. He wants me to be on his little podcast, and then I shouldn't call it that. I'm not trying to embed him. And then I'll go on his. He'll come on our he has a much better business than I do. He's been in it for longer, and he got in it when it was better. Like right now, the only people that are really in cannabis are the people that are in cannabis. It's not like back 5 years ago.
I know, but that's what I'm saying though. Like with the new article with the next one, the MJ Biz one. I don't know if you got that pulled up.
Oh no, we're skipping that. We already did enough MJ Biz. The next one's the federal article. Top agency promotes new marijuana research center.
Sure. But it's just the backside of things is it's not the way the business is not what I thought it was when it was like selling quarter pounds and you get like $100 and you're like, okay, I paid my rent. Well, then you got to think about the taxes, and then you got to be overhead, and then you got to think about like the, if possible,
401k money,
and all
and the taxes.
See,
and then the insurance. Where's your insurance expense? Now, the guy that's out in the trap has not bought insurance.
Yeah, and then our coverage for employees, and then just so much aspects. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many aspects to like the business that we don't think about when you're just on the hustle or the grind. And it's just funny to think that you can make only a certain level of like survival, but then when you want to be able like, I'm a businessman, it's going to take care of itself. That's a whole different level of like scrutiny and unfortunate like overcharging but that's why we accept, like when we go to the store, you pay so much for beer. I understand the beer man has to pay a tax. Well, I hope you understand the weed man has to pay a tax. So they're always passing it on to the next person, right? It's not like when they talk about policy, like the Republicans' policy right now, it's always been like in favor of the corporate, right? Tax cuts, and that's doesn't help us. Doesn't help someone going to the store. But like if I'm about to make $500,000 a year, go that
see
tax
about
cut.
that.
You know what I'm saying? Then I'll be in favor of
it. Again, like THCA hemp is just coming over this industry like a fucking tomahawk. That and edibles that are legal. And I just bought some Trail Magic from Minnesota using a credit card. They shipped it to my house. It's alcohol free, but it is hemp under the Farm Bill. So if they use this, hey, regulators, do me a solid, make me some money. Fuck these other guys that have sunk costs into it. I want you to change the definition of hemp to hemp means the plant Cannabis sativa L, provided that it is not grown for human consumption.
So
That's it.
when you use a credit card though for the hemp, because we talked about this before, the reason why a lot of times cannabis can't use a credit card is because there's not a certain check mark, a certain available commerce like little thing. So what is it under
Correct.
hemp
It
then?
is illegal. That is something that I will be asking various people in the future. I'm going to do a 2-part series on THCA, why it's illegal and why it's legal. And so, like,
Yeah.
completely lawyering, just like tune into the next one where I argue for the exact opposite thing of what I just said.
I'm just curious to what the because I mean the whatever back end regulations helping hemp. I mean that is changing that statement would cross over to the cannabis plant, right? Then, as far as when you talk about the cannabinoids being regulated,
Correct. And so that would
yeah.
be like in a modification. But then I don't know if I think they're able, because like the attorney general has the ability to like reschedule anything, even if even if hemp is like dropped from the Controlled Substances Act, they can yank it back in there because that's how the Controlled Substances Act works. So they can just yank it back in there and have this new Schedule 3, and then have a definition where hemp is defined as, the plant is the plant Cannabis sativa L and yada yada, all the seeds were from, not designated for human consumption. It doesn't matter how much THC is in it then, because if you grew it and you grew it pursuant to a hemp license, you're not looking at a THC level. It's like, where's this going?
But that's
Well,
the whole
they gotta
CSA, right?
smoke it or eat it. That ain't hemp. It's supposed to be made out of ships and sailing and varnish and building materials and clothing, and if they defined it that way without THC, like they did back for no good reason at all, by the way, because that's how cannabis. Hey, you've tuned in to the no good reason at all part of the show, where we
Sexy
always
talk, man.
remind you, and don't forget to subscribe, for no good reason at all. The plant definition of hemp and marijuana under federal law has no distinction except for 0.3% delta 9 THC, when the whole purpose of hemp was for it not to be for human consumption. It was
True.
supposed to be a commodity, not a horticultural product.
Well, how did Marinol get a pass? Like as a
It didn't get a
cannabinoid?
pass. Marinol is a wonderful example of how the system of the Controlled Substances Act and the FDA's approval of drugs work. They took a plant. That plant has THC in it. They distilled out the THC. They put it into pill form so that it's no longer, like apples or like roses. It's now a
pill
capsule with a dosage and a half-life. So it's like medicine as opposed to herbs.
Gotcha.
And then they proved it through the procedure. And the reason why it's Schedule 3 is that it got some shit. I'll guarantee you. Like that could have been some Schedule 5 shit if they were being honest, but they didn't want to be honest because it had to do with weed.
Sure. So if the cannabinoid thing happens with the rewritten in the Farm Bill, then will that cover Marinol as well? Because essentially
it can.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they're going to write something. They're going to write a rule. We're going to do some public comments on it. There's going to be some really cool, awesome new episodes of Cannabis Legalization News. So you might as well subscribe now and then click our videos, likes a whole bunch of times. We won't grow that fast. We're not trying to sell for AC Infinity. If we were, we would have gotten an invite to something else.
Man, my goal is to be like this mess brought to you by Jack in the Box.
Well, you need to talk to the AC Infinity people then, and so and then get your medical card and start growing out there, because they put up like everybody that does a grow channel on YouTube. And so we don't have like an affiliate code for them, and we have not sold any of their shit. So
no, I mean like a non-cannabis touching type things, right? I'll show Taco Bell all day because that's what I eat sometimes. But like,
well, if you want that, like we
related,
have that, like the provided that the Cheech and Chong people actually pay out. That's my biggest beef with affiliate codes is you're not going to pay me. Like you're not. Just come on. But then if they actually pay out, fine, okay, let's sell some hemp, and then eventually let's get some affiliate codes for selling wine, because like you can move wine online. I'm assuming it's legal.
I'll do it. We got some NIH news.
The NIH,
National Institutes of Health.
Where is that in the stack of news?
That would be I got the present. Did you see it? I
No,
just put hyperlinks in our show notes.
but like I don't see the NIH. I see shit I wasn't expecting. New York operators.
Here, I got
Oh,
you.
I
You see
told
that
you
one?
we're yeah, you were supposed to go right past that one.
Oh, was
But
it?
there, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You know, you have to. Miggy, the whole thing is like we might need to get like somebody to handle you. Like the goal of the show, in and out in about an hour. Do you know what the average travel time is for a commute in this
Hmm.
country? 24 minutes. Do you know what the average, therefore, the average like podcast time
24
is?
minutes. Oh my, wait, who doesn't live in a city?
But that's the average podcast time. Then the average
Yeah.
podcast time correlates to the average commute time. So like if you really want to train something, and I'm trying to like sit there and train it down to it's like nope, this, and so like you have to edit shit. And so like I should start using the private chat and be like, don't talk about this show, don't talk about that, go to this, you know. And that's one of the reasons why that's what our producer would be doing, just like
Mhm.
go here.
I just click on all the links that you get ready for, and then I go through down.
We're going to need to put a patch on that, and so now you're going to have like a hierarchical uh, um, coding patch where it's like, okay, I want to talk about this. It's like, no, you're trying to keep within time constraints. That one's been cut, and then get to the next one. And so that's why we're going to get now to shit I wasn't expecting because
All
we
right.
still have to get to other stuff in the next 20 minutes. So let's hit a bumper and then go to shit that I was not expecting this week. Here's
What
some
we got?
shit I wasn't expecting from the nice people that actually just put on MJ Biz. Oh, by the way, don't forget to accept their cookies, and then you can also say yes. I want the notification for that. Um, Ohio bill would allow municipalities to ban adult use marijuana. Here it comes. They will now start taking away your rights. They're going to
Oh
start
yeah.
taking your rights because you wanted them. You wanted them this summer or this fall when you passed cannabis legalization in the state of Ohio, unless you're just buying it at a gas station calling it THCA.
Well, I think there's a lot of shenanigans involved with Ohio coming up. I shared with you in our Slack that one, and I reshared it on Twitter. The one senator talking about how they plan on Monday to submit rules to reshape the verbiage for recreational and adhere it to the medical. So this is only just another example. Yeah.
Yeah, but then like, why are they all up in arms about it if they can just go to a gas station and buy THCA? Why does it
I
even
haven't
matter?
noticed it.
Like, why? Like, okay, because like if we and I want to go win, like I'm not lying. Like, Ohio is on my 2024 plan. Like, I want to win 10%, which would be 5 of the licenses, and
Hmm.
then not me individually. I'm not social equity, but my social equity partners. I want to win
Yeah.
for them, and like in combination with them. Yeah, and so why are we making such a big deal? Shouldn't we just? And I was talking to the guy who runs Cookies Hemp earlier today, and so like, why not? Like, if it's going to cost you 1.5 million bucks, and you can get operational in a THCA red state for 100,000, why not take that 1.5 million and just open up 10 red state dispensaries?
Yeah, I don't know what the issue with cannabis there is. You know, the fear mongering in Ohio with the
They're
policy.
stupid. They just call it hemp and they call it THCA. Like I said, if the definition of hemp was cannabis sativa L grown for non-human consumption versus a stupid made up line about delta 9 THC, that industry wouldn't exist.
I'm curious what language you're going to rewrite. According to the article, the law was in effect December 7th. So that means what, 4 days to like try and restructure
Oh
a
yeah,
law?
but these laws are amended all the time, except in Texas, where they only meet like once every other year as their legislature. And so the hemp laws, the cannabis laws, they're going to be amended and amended again. You know,
Yeah. I mean, except for Washington State, we're in stagnant since 2012.
You haven't had any amendments since 2012. I find that
Nothing.
hard to believe. You guys have had like a social equity round.
That is not to the law though. So for the law itself in Washington State, the last amendment was the law that killed medical, SB 5052, which was like 2 years afterwards, which was championed by the businesses. But as far as social equity, that's like it's like the governing body of cannabis here in Washington State is like showing like good faith or some stuff. It has nothing to do with like the legislation process.
This does. Like, and this is
Hmm.
also the stigma. Here's more stigma news that you never see coming, even though you always see it coming. And actually, I'm
Yeah.
going to put that banner back up because then it hides a Delta Airlines commercial. And they're not a sponsor. They never will be. Illinois marijuana moms battle McHenry County prosecutors over dad weed warning labels. Yeah, we're going to put warning labels on our weed because we're a dad. And we
And,
don't want them to learn about shit.
well, it's the language that's really the offensive part, right? Because you guys already have like the little ASTM marijuana triangle, right, on your guys' packaging.
We have particular warnings. I'm not sure if they have that one.
Because that's like the standardization thing, you know. So like ASTM is like the group of engineers trying to have like when you see a danger hazard sign or whatever, and one of them for consumption for cannabis would be is this little like yellow triangle with the pot leaf in the center of it, which I've seen in Oregon and I've seen in Washington. But and I figure you guys being so well regulated already have it. But this guy's talking about psychosis and uh, cancer and like a pack of cigarettes. Those kind of warnings that aren't scientifically foundationed, though,
Yeah,
right?
pack of cigarettes. Oh my god, I can go buy that at any gas station if I'm only. I think it might say. Well, when I was coming up, it was 18. I think now it might be 21. But
I think
they feel spendy as fuck, and they stink, and so and they just shred your DNA,
yeah.
which cannabis doesn't. And so I wish you can go get like, give me a pack of Crescos. Yeah, I want a pack of Jungle Boys. And then you can just go up there and buy a pack of like it's like I don't have them with me, but that rolling for a service that company.
Hmm.
There you go. Go buy a pack of them. And you really don't need that many. You might only want to sell them in packs of 5 for freshness.
But the warning label stuff on a pack of cigarettes is actually like fact based, right? Like it does do lung disease. It does make your teeth yellow and all that stuff. Whereas this guy's trying to like create fake news just to fearmonger.
Yeah, people are jerks sometimes, especially if they get paid to do it. Speaking of Martha Stewart, so Martha Stewart's CBD gummies no longer infringes on Wild's trade dress, by the way. And so Martha Stewart has rebranded her stupid line of gummies to look like this as opposed to just ripping off Wild's packaging. And so if you are familiar with Wild's packaging and Martha Stewart's former packaging, you'd be like, damn, somebody copied that. Or like they have a licensing agreement, but they did not. And so now she has sleep CBD gummies, extra strength CBD gummies, and chill CBD gummies. Remember, Martha Stewart is an octogenarian, even though she has a deal with Sports Illustrated.
No, she's actually done more time than Snoop Dogg. But
Well, she's hardcore.
but this is an agree, what do you call it? A partnership with Cannabis Growth, right? Like Cannabis Growth is a Canadian company that's been part of the CBD, and I think they grow too, part of their recreational market.
They're probably fully vertically integrated up there.
Hmm. So I mean, like, cool. I mean,
How cool is this story?
oh,
Sharon Osborn says she once pooped in husband Ozzy Osbourne's weed while on a family vacation in Hawaii. It's all fun and games until Harriet Osborn takes a shit in your weed. And that happened, evidently, to Ozzy Osbourne, which may explain this picture. He's like, I've smoked shit. Sharon,
oh shit!
and
That was Tom.
I
That
love
was me.
quotes. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm still alive. You seem still alive too. Maybe you've just fallen off the face of the earth again. But Sharon, 71, then defecated in the cannabis-filled Ziploc bag, zipped it up back in, and put it back. When he found out, he went nuts and chased us all down the hallway, like you would if somebody literally pooped in your weed.
Dude, she asked her daughter first, and she says that I'm not doing that again. Like there was a first time. I mean, who poops? I mean, in the drugs, like how's that? I just that was such a bad, like, and it's a true story.
According to the article, this wasn't like in their heyday. This is when she was a mom, and it was 1995. So she was taking shits in Ozzy's weed when they were in their 40s or 50s. Actually, if she's 71, so like when she did this, she was 44. Miggy, if I took a shit in your weed in a Ziploc bag next year when I'm 44, you can shoot me. That's just so mean. Are you having connectivity issues?
What a way to deal with a. It was switching back and forth between my hardline and my Wi-Fi, and that's why I just disconnected the Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi was shit. I don't know why.
Your Wi-Fi is shit. You're hard.
Whatever.
We're gonna and the next
it's better
once we get that cannabis dispensary open and we aren't like totally broken by the THCA sales that are just illicit. Well, legally a loophole. We should be able to, because like I have like fiber internet. You don't have fiber internet in Seattle?
No, I mean it's good enough for gaming. I don't know why. Well, sometimes it's just what's funny too. When we get more viewers, it's like I don't know if I don't know what we have. Come on, dude. It's good for Call of Duty.
Okay, with that, we're going to do a new thing. A new thing. Maggie, I don't think did you prepare 120 words for a reel?
I got a couple.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great.
If my Wi-Fi can stand up to it.
Before Miggy just twerks out on this, and I don't think that's the right word, let's go ahead and hit this Name That Strain bumper.
So you want me to twerk? Is that what you want me to say?
Nope. I want you to say, there it is. There's the Name That Strain right there. And our Name That Strain is brought to you by nobody yet. And if you want to bring us that Name That Strain, we will need an affiliate code to sell your hemp until YouTube says you're not allowed to do that. But we're going to comply with their terms of service. And then, of course, if they change the laws, we will stop doing it. That
yes, we will.
You can name. Very true. Very true. Let me give you a little hint about what it is, and then my YouTube consultants ask me for reels all the time, and I go, I got a real story for you. I have to work for a living. I'm not going to sit there and just be like, I'm going to go get some boots and then dance to It's Raining Men while pointing at things for your reels. And so I figured we could build it into the podcast. So I have one about shit that I hate for limited market versus open market states.
Ooh.
First, I want to talk about this fast-acting phenotype. That, unfortunately, doesn't give me its parents, as it just says this is a pheno of something. And so that would then lead you to loot all the phenos of something. Usually we give you like it is a cross of this and that. This is a phenotype. And so a fast-acting pheno of, why not, OG Kush.
We got a close one. Okay. But it's not the right second half.
Great. I will do my little bit, and then we'll go to your bit, and then we'll go from there. Hey, it's me. cannabis industry lawyer. Do you know how you can tell whether or not an open market or a limited market state is right for your state? Look at how much it costs to open a dispensary. If your security requirements are like nuts and it costs more than like $2 million or about $2 million to open a dispensary, you do not want an open market state because those levels of compliance costs cannot support that. You're not going to make it $2 million to open a liquor store in your state. So if you're going to make it $2 million to open a dispensary, you should have a limited market state. Otherwise, all of those businesses will be out of business, and it's just really mean for your state to do that. They won't collect the taxes. They'll just make people upset.
Got some, lots of close ones, but not the actual one.
You got yourself a bit you want to do?
Yeah, pull me out and let me
do it.
Get started. Do it. Let's do this. Have you been arrested for pot? Would you like to be involved in the cannabis industry? Be patient and search for opportunities. My recent attendance at MJ BizCon has shown me the gamut of people involved in the marijuana industry, from Fujitsu, Brinks, among many more, and then to mom and pops, old money to new. My personal passion is writing, which led me here. And honestly, I never thought a legit opportunity would fall in my lap. Instead, I've been focused as a technician and, being a small cog of capitalism. But I just wanted to say, it can happen. And it's so many minority and women, and it's lots of opportunities. Just got to find them. So yeah, man, that's it. That's good enough, right?
Word. And that is Name That Strain and Reels. So now we have like 2 reels that can be served to our crap. And then also that Name That Strain. This is a tough.
So many
I'm not going to lie.
Grapes. I mean, you all
so close. So close. And then it's grape soda, which evidently, according to Leafly, is a fast-acting phenotype of Tahoe OG Kush. Grape soda by Taste Buds, an excellent evening strain. It provides an idle, heavy-bodied sensation that frees you from worry, which is one of the reasons why many people consume.
I'm disappointed that Grape Ape wasn't like a parent.
Well, it didn't have the parents. It was like a pheno, which is hilarious. Like, could you imagine if you named one of the phenos of AK-47, which I think has like 5? They would have. Could you then have like, oh, that's this pheno. We're gonna name this pheno of AK-47.
I got you. Yeah. And again, it's really into it. Like, we were in that bar and talking to that poor woman with her sister. So we got to ask a question about a poor woman whose sister's going through rectal cancer. And
right.
Tom really got into the terpene profiles and breaking it down as a ganjine. And I was like, okay, look, sativa, indica, it's like white chocolate, milk chocolate. I mean, chocolate. It's going to, but yeah, I think you saw the glazed eyes in her looks. You're getting into,
I understand. I was thrilled. I was both terrified and thrilled. I was like thrilled that I could actually help, and then provide some information. But then I was also terrified. It's like, wait, what the hell is in your guys' water? I have to be here for the next week, and so it's also fright for your own well-being. I don't like where I live. Like, people routinely die in their 90s and shit, and so like. I wonder, I should have read the obits when I was in like Vegas. It was like, Bob Jones died of 57. Always says he had a system to getting back to where he was going to be. It just looked like such a hard life, Vegas,
The desert life is like, the place where it's been used for like nuclear testing and chemical dumping. So, I mean, yeah, it's not the easiest, but it was definitely nice to help somebody out. And what's unfortunate, though, is she's going to be stuck with the Nevada market at this moment, which is not bueno. She's going to try to Oregon and get some good medicine for sis, which is damn.
I hope Grandpa gets some good medicine out there in Ohio, though. Ice cream cake. I like how ice cream cake popular as fuck 4 years ago in California, making its way to Ohio.
How long has cannabis been legal in Nevada, recreational?
Nevada, I want to say they're an 18 or a 20 state. I think I'd have to look. I think they were a ballot initiative because like West Coast states typically were ballot initiatives. So that's one of their interesting reasons. Like Illinois couldn't be a ballot initiative. They had to be legislative. Same with Minnesota. Same with Texas. But some states do allow for ballot initiatives. Nebraska. Oh, my goodness, there was somebody that we did a podcast with in Nebraska. And so I'm going to have
Oh
to
yeah.
work with that organization so that they can get it on the ballot and then also pass it and then create something that will work. And so then it becomes one of those things where, Dimitri Downing from MITA, shout out to him, mad props. He'll be on. He'll be one of our co-hosts here soon and often, whenever we need one.
Mm-hmm.
We can always just bring him on as the third guy after we do our little roundup of the news.
Yeah.
And so he wants open markets. And I'm like, just like a little real. I'm like, if you're going to make it $2 million to open a dispensary and you're going to let anybody open one that has $2 million, you're just going to have a whole bunch of broke people that have lost $2 million. Why are you going to do that?
I mean, that's the ideal, right? Legalization is going to be this thing that's going to be at no boundaries. But until then, which is unfortunate, until you get federal structure,
you need to talk to the Cookies boys that are selling their THCA, man. You need to talk to the Cookies Hemp boys, like Michael over there.
I mean, we've had a relationship with a grower and didn't mind. Like, this chewy thing is going to be interesting to see. But, when it comes to like just the plan itself, like, I mean, I just can't wait till the state comes off and like actually like I just don't like looking around loopholes. I just want to be like weed. Here's some weed. You want some weed, but not
That's
like
what
I got some THC.
They could do that with the new rule, and so I hope they do that with the new rule. And if hemp is defined as weed, not for human consumption, there are no loopholes.
Yeah.
Like, why were you growing that weed? It was going to be dry smokable flower for human consumption. Then.
Well, then you're going to crush all the hemp.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
Yeah. But you're going to crush all kinds of new people. That's the unfortunate part about this. Like right now, as you and I wait, what was it? July? We won.
Yeah.
And so we're coming up, almost December. We just heard again. So like this painful process, or even like how we talked about people who are doing like Texas rounds, like people who have money to float and stay alive, because none of this happens overnight. None of this is,
it happens in cannabis time, which basically means forever.
Backwards time. Yeah. So, it's just, you got to have the ability to be able to stay afloat first before your thing that you want to do.
Well, that's one of the reasons why, like, I don't want, like, one of our lead story was this hemp farmer that was like also growing weed was getting shit from the USDA saying you can't do that. And I'm like, all right, well, we aren't on the farming end. We're on the retail end because like mad props to the farmers. But can we have a different LLC that is selling THCA from the LLC that has the license to sell THC in a state licensed facility?
And that's going to be up to the state to decide, right? That's going to be,
I wasn't going to ask him. I was just going to like, A, it's legal. B, we have the license, and so if it's legal, it's legal. Pay your taxes.
Which it should be, right? This guy shouldn't be going through any issues. He shouldn't be having this argument for, being penalized for being involved in the legal market. So,
for true.
I got a new article.
True.
Go ahead.
What's the new article?
Oh, just in on the Cannabis Legalization news, I wrote about the experience.
Oh, good. Hey, everybody. Don't forget, you can always visit cannabislegalizationnews.com. And we one day will try to turn this into what Beard Bros has done. Yeah. Beard Bros got the cash flows from the cannabis licenses way earlier than we did. We still have not gotten cash flows from a cannabis license. We hope that happens sometime in about 7 months.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just the painful process. It's not the overnight. It's not. But I mean, I hope to do more adding to the articles. There's some there. Check it out once in a while.
It really comes down like that's how we got as far as we did, and why I started the podcast was for search engine optimization. Teach yourself search engine optimization and make those articles so they reach the most people they can.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about what audience you're searching for, or even your intention. Like since I've been doing the writing thing, it's always for me. It's just more about like a storytelling. So
okay, but you have to understand, you are telling a story in HTML to an algorithm that can only read HTML. And then that is the lens on which the humans, like you have your story, you put it in there, and then it's abstracted through this HTML lenses. And then you have the searcher on the other end that's looking for it. And so you have to make it in such a way. And that's what we do over at CannabisIndustryLawyer.com, CollateralBase.com. So one day, CannabisLegalizationNews.com, especially if you throw us more money. So like if you could buy some shit from us, that'd be great. And then that's how it works. And so like more people will be able to read it if you understand how like these H tags works and how backlinks works and interlinking and anchor text, and then pictures even and like load time will help you. Like we'll take that and we'll revise it and we'll be like, there you go. What are you trying to reach here? Because like that's a keyword. So like cannabis lawyer is what CannabisIndustryLawyer.com tries to reach,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah. Tom always be closing.
Yep.
But you know, I just think as a writer or whatever I've been doing, I just think the audience itself is more generalized than just say, you know, cannabis consumer is not a drum circle, bunch of hippies. It's somebody that goes to work. It's somebody. It's also the guy locked in the couch, right? It's the whole gamut, you know. And then I hope to just reach out to other, you know, functioning consumers.
Right on. And that is our show for the week, basically. And so after that, it's you guys could have caught us over at MJ Biz. We had a wonderful time. The only gripe that I had was I couldn't see enough people. And if I saw you, it was wonderful to meet you.
Hell yeah.
Miggy, any closing thoughts before we wrap this episode up and say next Sunday, I hope we have another episode. But I'm out of the office for part of that because I have to go to the ISBA meetings for cannabis law.
We'll figure it out. But, you know, smash that like, tickle the subscribe, give us a like.
Hey, you guys have a good week. If there's any news that you want, just leave it in the comments. Let us know. We'll try to cover it.
Hell yeah.